I was super, super tired yesterday. I did a lot of work with a colleague who um, was a really close friend, very close friend, and we basically over the past over this past year we've cut all professional ties, and I think we've done so without burning the bridge, but I still feel um, just kind of shook by it all. And so, anyway, going through the final process yesterday, it felt like a divorce, I guess. Um, I just felt by the end of the day, once it was done, right? And then by the end of the day, I was just dead tired, just totally dead tired. So I slept hard last night. I don't remember moving at all. I'm looking forward to looking at my watch to kind of look at my sleep tracker, feel good about myself. Um, anyway, uh, that conversation speaks to the topic, which is armor impedes your ability to regularly perceive divinity. And what was happening yesterday while I was inside this kind of space of trying to get this job done, which, very much is my brand, my identity, my story, my heart, my relationship to this person, uh, how I imagine the future is going to go. All those things were very much a part of yesterday. And as I'm talking about, I'm reminded of other business moments that had similar context. But that was there yesterday too. And this is all going on in the kitchen, right? So my one daughter's in the other room on schoolwork, the other one's in the living room watching TV, and then my wife's in her office doing her work. So this is all happening in the midst of the family. And what I was experiencing was a lot of one of the things about relationships like this and business relationships, including friends and family and stuff. Well, I should say about money in any way, is I feel a lot of sensation right through here. So my heart rate picks up. I get a lot of noise. There's just a whole lot going on inside of me. And in the past, this would really kind of pull me off course, and I'd be much more inclined or prone to kind of erupt. I'm much more stable in it now, but it's still there. It's still very much inside of me and very much activated by this type of environment. And so I was able to navigate the environment, which was just full of potential for kind of slowing things down, getting bogged down in this or that, or why did you do like this, or why didn't you do that? So I was able to get through it. We were able to get through it. And the 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 piece of the puzzle that's worth the piece of the puzzle that's worth noticing is that these types of things are inevitable, and there isn't any way to prevent life from challenging you, and those challenges are often what cause us to up armor in the first place. So we up armor our story, which makes our story impervious to weakness, right? We up armor our bodies, which is making ourselves look a particular way, or um, creating a separation from the body. And then we up armor our hearts, which is this notion that, like, I don't need other people, or I can just do things on my own. And so that armor was there. Uh, it was it was just a byproduct. It's a byproduct of my life growing up on the planet. I mean, that's just what happened. Anyway, I was able to stick with kind of the evenness, even though there was this stuff going on. I was able to stick to the evenness because, as you know, you're not your mind, you're not your body, you're the awareness, right? You're the thing that is aware of what's going on. It's not necessarily what's going on. So able to do that, get through that, and anyway, it was exhausting. I was totally tired. That said, last night I got to watch little Allegra do her little lines for her school play, and she just has to videotape herself doing these lines. And just watching her and watching her little personality outside of family, you know, because kids when they're with the family are a little different than when they're out kind of in front of their friends and all that kind of stuff. And so she gets on there and she's just, you know, trying to do it right. She probably did it 7 or 8 times, and she's fixing her hair and making sure. I don't like my voice sounding that way, so she's fixing her voice, and I just kept thinking, my gosh, she is so amazing. She's so wonderful. I'm so excited, and I just felt just this wonderful connection. And then later on that night, when she's been having real trouble with the isolation. You know, I was like, just kind of like trying to soothe her and, you know, just kind of rubbing her cheek and rubbing her back, trying to get her to, you know, settle. And I just felt this sense of awe and just felt this sense of like fullness. And it was all there. Even the hard stuff was there. I mean, she was really upset. And it took about a half an hour to kind of go through all the feelings that she was having and listen to them and talk her down. And finally, when she went to bed, it was just kind of like, whew, finally that was over. But inside of all of it, were these little moments where everything was awe-inspiring. Or that's not the right word. There were just these little moments of beauty and divinity. Like, to me, divinity is the right word here, because if I just broke down each of these things by their component parts, you miss the whole, right? So in all of this was these little divine moments, these little moments of peace, or these little moments of love, or just these little moments of connection, or these little moments of hope, or they're just always there. And the reason why I was able to perceive them is because I wasn't engaged with the armor. The armor showed up, right? The armor was there. The armor was there with my business partner. The armor was there with Allegra that night. The armor was there. It's a byproduct. It's a survival mechanism. It's built into us. Now, when you have post-traumatic stress, that's a disorder, then it's built in. It's what's built in amplified, and when it gets amplified, it has big, broader effects. Nonetheless, before it's a disorder, it's still a thing by virtue of survival mechanisms. Our central nervous system is built to help us survive. So there's no getting around the armor. You can't create a world where the armor doesn't exist. So what you have to learn how to do is armor down. And when you armor down, you begin to perceive this divinity that's just everywhere. And it's quite remarkable. It's quite remarkable. It's hard. It's very hard. And so like at the end of the day, when I'm like, all right, let's do dinner, making a fire, boom, 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 I'm like not just tired, but like zombie tired. And when I did my exercise at the end of the day, it was all like laying on the floor and like rolling and like just kind of like the slowest stuff ever, because I had to account for it. But you know, nonetheless, there was divinity, and it's just encouraging. It just always just gives me a sense of, you know, there's so much more that's going on. And if I get stuck on a particular part of what's going on, it doesn't mean that divinity has stopped. It just means that the focus that I have is kind of pigeonholed. And it's hard, and it can snowball, and you can go off into a dark place pretty quick. But you know, always know that you can kind of come back and reground. So let me read the the stanza, and kind of explain a little bit more how it kind of dials into what we've said so far, and then we'll get into the training. All right. Stanza 109. We've got 5 left. It's cool. You cannot see or touch the divine with your gross senses. The divine is within you, not somewhere else. Unite yourself to the divine, and you will be able to perceive divinity wherever you are. But do not try to grasp or cling to them. So I have this memory of kind of brushing my finger across Allegra's cheek, right? Just this soft, just sweet little face, and there her big brown eyes and a little tear, and it's okay, baby. We're gonna get through this. It'll be over soon. The vaccine will be here by spring. We'll be able to play with your friends again, and just the kind of the settledness and the calmness and just the closeness, and you're just like, oh gosh, I want to have this forever, right? I just want him to stay like this forever, right? Or like a puppy, like I want him to stay a puppy forever. These notions of holding on to it, right? Holding on to what is the first thing you have to ask. What do I hold on to? The youth, the moment of connection. There's nothing to hold on to. The second thing is, what's divine about that? What's divine about the soft touch of a child? I mean, everything, right? What isn't divine about it? And then what gets in the way of that? Allegra, that's enough. That's enough. Get a hold of yourself. We're all doing this together. You just got to suck it up. Stop your crying. It's time for bed. That's what gets in the way of it. And so, when you unite, he says, unite yourself with the divine. That's really what life is without the armor, or without the. It's not that the armor's not there. It's what life. Well, yes, it's life without the armor. So if you recognize that you're the awareness, right? You're not the armor. You're the awareness of the armor. The armor can be there, and you recognize, okay, there it is. I'm not the armor. You're still the awareness. Now, what is the awareness? The awareness beyond your direction of it. So, okay, I am the awareness. I recognize the armor. Okay, I'm not the armor. It's still there. It's still pulling me. I'm the awareness. Awareness is focusing in on love and kindness. Love and kindness isn't yours. It's not your love and kindness. It is love and kindness in general that you are kind of, you're meeting the love and kindness that exists with the love and kindness within you. It's not you're creating love and kindness. Love and kindness exists. Love and kindness is. You're kind of connecting your awareness to it. It's, the more language you give it, the less it's tough to give this a lot of language, because it really is in the moment kind of thing. So when I was interacting with Allegra and feeling that wonderful sense, it wasn't mine. It wasn't me doing it. It's there. It's there to be connected to. That's a better way to say it. So anyway, that's 109. We're at the end of the day. We're at the end of the week. Let's get in a good training, and tap into the best versions of ourselves around this topic, and head to the weekend on a positive note. So yeah, okay. All right. Cues for comfort. What are they? Do you know them? You should know them by now. These are the things that you kind of follow to feel the best, feel the most comfortable. Maybe it's location based, so it's external to you. Maybe it's body based, so it's internal to you. It's the way you position yourself. But just take the next moment or two to get yourself as comfortable as you can, and then we'll begin. First feeling I have is kind of stuffiness or dryness in my nose. I also feel a cold sore on my lip. My mouth feels wetter than usual. My eyes feel a little bit kind of heavy. A little bit of heat coming off the space heater. It feels a little more intense than usual. It feels a little warmer than usual. The warmth feels a little bit more sharp. The pull of the cold feels a little less of a pull. Not a lot of sound. It's quiet. There's some water dripping through a pipe somewhere. Mostly quiet. I've got a Mariah Carey Christmas song at the base of my mind for, it's kind of engaged in the background. Merry little Christmas. All right, let's move on to second bell. Starting with the ground, noticing the different kind of cushion under my right leg versus my left leg. Different temperature, right foot compared to left foot. Come up to pelvis. A little bit of fatigue in the lower back. Let the core out. Let the belly out, yep. Heart space. Shoulder blades. Throat. Top of the head. Get a little taller. Soften the face. Baseline breath. Oh, it feels shallow. Let me go big here. Big felt wide open. Let me go big again here. So it felt really good to go really big. It's like there's just some space that hasn't been being used. So I'm gonna go back big again. Let's do square breathing, box breathing. So make all the sides of the breath, including the holds, the same length of time. So I'll start with 6 seconds, 6 second inhale, 6 second hold, 6 second exhale, 6 second hold. Let's do that 3 times and come back to the middle. So what are you grateful for? I'm so grateful for the home that I have. Kind of have this wonderful family, this wonderful home, this fireplace, this practice. You all who practice with me, the yard that we have, the space that we have. I'm just so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for the little moments with my children. I love roughhousing with Liliana. I love doing schoolwork and different things with Allegra. I like roughhousing with her too. I love spending time with my wife at the end of the day when we just get to, just the two of us, without the daggone kids. I'm grateful for the dog. And for all the people out there that are without the wonderful blessings that I have, just all the goodwill inside of me, I want you to have. I want it all to be yours. I don't know who you are. I don't know who needs this, but all the goodwill that's inside of me, I wish for it to be wherever it needs to go. I imagine it moving out of my heart. I imagine it moving through this little heart hand mudra, and imagine it going to all the places and all the people that are really struggling. I imagine in right around Martin Luther King Elementary School or Martin Luther King Middle School in by Churchill, East Richmond. Those spaces are tight. It means the projects. So I imagine all my goodwill going there. And for all the people that don't have access to space and are crowded and kind of stuck on top of each other, I hope there are moments that you find peace and ease. And I hope you have a good Christmas. You're surrounded by people who you trust. So I'll finish there with 2 breaths, second to finish. All right, armor down. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We have a nice weekend. We'll be back for the last week. We'll have 5 stanzas left. I mean, look at this. This is thick. This is 15 pages. It's 15 pages. I tell you, we've been doing this since July. It's cool. Anyway, we got 1 week to go. Later, armor down.